freaks. Alright. Well, I got the totals from the rubies. I think it was like 35 bucks. So, hey, not terrible. But it's like, see how like everybody was doing the rubies and rubies and rubies, and it doesn't really add up to, a lot. I'm not sure how that... and I didn't see it on the screen very much, so maybe today it'll look better. I don't know. It's hard to say. I didn't see the animations other than a few times. I mean, when you guys put poop out there, what does it look like? Does it show up on the screen? And, okay, go ahead. What is it? Karen. Looks like another show where the notifications don't go out to anybody other than like 10 people. What, Karen? Let's go. Come on. You have something to say. Just type it in. Nah, I don't. I'm not into... I don't even care about the QAnon thing. Don't care about it at all. Alright, what is it? Karen, you said, Gray, can I take a minute to tell people there's a new scam? And now we've waited a minute waiting for you to type in what it was. So what is it? Right. Oh, yeah, jeez. You see how that works, you guys? It just... Get ready to type it in first. People are going to restaurants and filling in the tip amount, and the server are changing... That's an old trick. Yeah, people have been doing that for a long time. That's not new. All right. Anyways, I'm not impatient. I'm doing a show, Karen. Do you understand that? So we have to wait for you to type it in. It's rude to do it that way. Okay? If you have something to say, don't go, hey, Gray, hold up the whole show while I have to hear you and then start typing it. Just type it in, and then we can all read it, and there we go. Oh, Jesus. Just put it in originally, You didn't need to ask to type something like that in. That's the part I don't get. All right, let's see. We got... Oh, yeah, Wild Bill Wassman, thank you. He sent me the Brian Enton interview with Jim Clemente. So, hold on, let me get it. I'll play it. But thanks for giving us the heads up there, Karen. So you guys, make sure when you're filling out the tip, put the $sign in there, the amount, the dots, and everything, so they can't put extra zeros and different things like that. Of course, they have to change the total also, but... Hold on. Not sure why this... It's like not playing. It's weird. Open with... Maybe I'll try something else. Media player.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show.
First of all, this
This is Brian Enton's show, and he interviewed Clemente regarding the Nancy Guthrie case. And so he wanted to ask about the blood spatter. The stuff that I told you guys about, almost the first, like the moment that Brian Enton put out the video that had the blood spatter, I told you exactly what it was.
First of all, First of all,
let me rewind it.
I'm talking to him and getting into all of it in this episode of Brian Enton Investigates. Jim, thank you for joining me again. Really appreciate it. It's nice to see you. I wanted to start with you because with what you have been looking at with the blood spatter patterns, because I know you went back and analyzed the video that we were able to take up on the front porch area of Nancy's house. What stood out to you?
Well, first of all, it was great to actually get the video itself, so I.
And here's that's what it looks like on the screen. Okay, there's
could do it frame by frame and then isolate some images, because blood spatter evidence, mainly because of the viscosity of blood.
They're looking at this part right here. Well, they called it Q. I don't even entertain those kind of people, like that's little things. I don't waste my time on that.
The nature of blood tells us a story, and it is frozen in time. It's a particular moment in time that this happened. But if you look at the first image, where there's two distinct blood spatter patterns.
He's talking about this and this.
First of all, there are some very clear indications from that image. And on the one that's more in the center of the screen, you can see some larger droplets of blood and then some smaller droplets of blood. And then to the right of that, you see what looks like a smear pattern. And that is somebody disturbing blood that has already been transplanted onto that surface. So, like I said, it tells a story. But if you then go to, so as an overview, these two spatter patterns.
Hey, thanks, Dirt Bike. And also, if you guys could please help support the channel during the show again. This is just a whole nother show, a whole new night. I was thinking of doing, like, if we get to 350, I'll donate $500 more tonight. At least we'll have 1,000 in the books already during the month. All right, so if you guys get to 350, I'll do. We'll send 500 in, and we'll decide where we're going to send it. All right.
Happened very close in time, right?
We're at 10 right now.
They indicate some action that happened in the middle of them. So you can go to the next picture.
Yeah, it sounds like Clemente believes exactly what I've said the whole time. But because I don't have the name next to, like, Gray Hughes, the forensic person or whatever, people are like, yeah. But the freaks here have all understood it. Like when I say, look at this is expirated blood, her head was near the ground, she was bent over, like she was kind of bent over or, kind of kneeling down or something like that, but coughed right there on the ground. Everyone in here goes, yeah, that totally makes sense, right? Hey, look at Karen got a challenge in there, you guys, if you guys want to do that.
This is an image of, a still image of this, a little bit of a close-up of that center pattern that we saw in the top of the last screen.
Yeah, so
and
like right
this
there.
tells me a number of things, and it's very specific. One is that at this point, Nancy her face was very close to the ground, within a foot.
See that? Within a foot, 12 to 8. Remember we had it on there? I think it was like 12 to 24 inches on ChatGPT.
Of the ground. And this could be either she was on her knees and hunched over, or just hunched over, or actually laying on the ground. But it looks less like she was laying on the ground.
Right, see, less like laying on the ground. But see how he said hunched over or like on her knees or something?
But more like hunched over this.
I mean, this sounds like literally exactly what we've said over here. Or I've said.
Spot. And the reason I can tell you that is because
thanks, Wild
some
Bill.
of these are low velocity blood spatters, and some are medium velocity blood spatters. We generally categorize them as low, medium, and high. The high velocity blood spatters are very tiny little, almost misty kind of droplets, and that happens only when blood is impacted in a, for example, in a gunshot wound. But medium velocity can be impacted when they can be created when somebody actually aspirates blood and then.
Yeah. I was saying aspirated too, but I think I looked it up, and expirate is when it comes out. I think aspirated means in, like it's inward. So, I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter. He's saying exactly the same thing. I mean, it literally, like, almost word for word. All right, we got 2 of the 5 challenges up there by Karen. So we need 3 more of those.
Coughs it up. And there's 2 indicators of that here. One is the small size of many of these blood spatters. And the other are, at the top of this image, you can see 3 circular blood spots.
He's talking about these 3
but
right
they're
here.
hollow.
See?
You see mainly the rings. And that's because there was actually air in that blood. There was bubbles, and the bubbles burst. And that's why you see just the ring. Okay, so this definitely came from her. She coughed it out. Those.
Isn't that incredible? It's like, this is what makes sense here. Now, you've had all these other, quote, blood spatter experts, with quotes around the expert part, who've said that it's, what is that, satellite blood spatter. Like, blood hit, and then other little droplets came from that. Well, you tell me how it got like this. I mean, there's no way a few drops like that would make this really dense area of sort of medium, not misting, but like fine blood spatter right there. Yeah.
Though there's very little in terms of directionality in terms of the larger droplets, but the smaller droplets you can see some of them are longitudinal. They're like
thanks, Linda Howe of the cattle mutilations and crop circles.
Oblong. So that
Linda
tells you
Moldenhau.
the direction that the blood was moving when it hit this surface, and not all of them are, and that was caused by the fact that she coughed out this blood, and it kind of went out in a bunch of different directions. So I believe that this...
Yeah, he thinks her head might be tilted opposite. He thinks it might be facing to the right, her mouth. I think it's over there, but when I see their video, there's more dots over here than I see here. I mean, it's almost similar over here, so maybe,
This shows us a situation in which Nancy coughed up blood, some of which was sort of had maintained its integrity. Some of it was bubbles that popped, and it's really important to know that this indicates that she was likely within a foot of the ground. Her face, her mouth was within a foot of the ground, probably pointing almost straight down at this point.
Yeah, that's what I've said. Almost down, but slightly turned.
I would assume that meant that she was either hunched over completely, or she was on her knees and hunched over with her face in this direction. And then if you see the blood spatter, the larger...
Okay, I guess we still need 2 more, you guys.
Spatter to the left of this image, there appears to be either a smudge in which someone had interfered with, or after the blood was deposited, touched on that spot and then moved it. And then in the large splotch that is directly to the right of that, a little bit higher, there is a little bit of a tail going to the right. And if you notice in one of the in the middle sort of circular one that had air trapped in it, that it was a bubble, you'll see that there's also sort of a tail that goes to the right. And then the one below that and to the right, you'll see that also seems to be. So I would say her body was to the left of this image, that's towards the front door, and her head was facing away from the front door here, but almost straight down.
In this shot.
Do you have any questions about that?
I want to introduce you guys to the sponsor of today's episode in Cairo. If they can't...
It's a different injury. What I do believe is that it could be, it's nowhere...
If they can't...
It's nowhere near the velocity of, say, a gunshot wound, right? So that's why we call it medium velocity.
The bigger, I guess, I don't know if you'd call them droplets, and the ones you're talking about where it looks like an air kind of bubble, but then there's some where they...
Hey guys, we got a challenge going here. We need 2 more gifted memberships. Thank you.
They look like kind of normal
one more.
blood,
Right.
bigger droplets. Do you think those are also coming from coughing, or is that a different injury?
No, I don't think it's a different injury. What I do believe is that it could be, it dripped out. So she may have coughed and then more dripped out afterwards. That's what it appears to be to me. And then if you go to the next image, which is directly to the, in that first image, it was directly to the right of that first image.
Okay.
And as you can see, the doormat is to the left of this image. There are some more captures of droplets of blood and then bubbles of blood. And you can see them in the top center. You have 2 droplets of blood and one
all the way over here too.
Bubble. And then in the bottom...
That's when she straightened out and started walking.
Slightly to the left, you'll see 1 droplet and then 1 bubble. And then to the right side of it, you'll see a couple more bubbles, and then you see a smear pattern.
So your head was
and
there.
That is because the blood that was deposited there was then interfered with. Someone may have stepped on it. Someone may have their hand or another body part may have contacted it and smeared.
So that's the one smear pattern I guess somebody mentioned a long time ago. I wasn't sure when they said it, but then after you look at it for a while, it looks kind of symmetrical. So there you go. All right, looks like the challenge was met. Thanks, guys. And thanks, Karen. All right, so if we get to 350 tonight, I'll donate $500. So 350 is the equivalent of the channel bringing in 230, and then I'd be donating $500, which I'd have to bring 750 in to get the 500. So if you guys, I'll be donating 270 or so on my own, and if you guys want to do the other portion, that'd be awesome. But we can get 1,000 in for the month so far. And right now we're at like 70.
It there. So I think if we go back to the first image that we were talking about, this tells a story of a snippet of time. And that is that at this point in time, that there's the highest likelihood is that she was either down on her knees or hunched over completely with her face very close to the ground and coughing out this blood.
Don't you think that's pretty cool, you guys? That, Wild Bill's one that pointed out, but I said exactly the same thing as this guy. Like a FBI profiler that knows exactly what he's looking at.
And then after that, where the blood pattern then disappears, I believe that she was likely picked up and carried the rest of the way, perhaps with...
I don't necessarily believe that. I think she was helped. Although, it's weird how it doesn't have continual drops. I mean, it has drops further down there, and that might be when they sort of then stood her up and got her into the vehicle. Don't know. But I don't know if she was ever carried here.
Her face.
And the reason I don't think she was ever really carried, so I don't agree with that part, is because when you go back to this shot, which one is it? You have one that's further... Hold on. I think I have an image of that other one. I mean, basically, this is it. Like, you can see blood all the way here. See? And so that means she's still, moving around and dripping blood all the way to this point. And that's the last tile before exiting sort of the archway. In fact, again, I'll show you, like, this is a good way to look at it. Nancy Guthrie was still standing right here. Okay? She was still moving out and dripping blood down. See that? Right there. So if you know, it's pretty far, and then there's another drop at the end. So it'd be weird if she was picked up right there just to go 10 feet. You know, why wouldn't you just keep moving her? You know, because there's another blood droplets right over here. See? So I don't know. I think it'd be weird to carry her, like, all of a sudden from right here you start carrying her to go 20 feet and then get her into her car. But hey guys, we're trying to get to 350 tonight, so if you guys could help support the channel, that would be great, and then we'll donate $500 to a true crime related charity.
Up so that there was no more blood deposited on that walkway. So Brian, have you been able to confirm whether or not there was actually blood spatter patterns inside the house?
What I've been told is no. That
yeah, isn't that interesting that he has the exact opposite information that Ashley Banfield has.
The only blood is what we see outside the front door. There have been some other reports.
I think that'd be kind of weird if that was really... I think Ashley Banfield's version makes more sense. That, like, you know, getting towards the door, it's bleeding, and then going out the door, you're still bleeding. Like, she didn't just immediately start bleeding right when she comes out the door, you know.
Reports from other journalists that they're saying they have a source that there is blood right inside the door, like you see outside. But my source said no, like that's not the case. It's just outside. So that's
okay.
What
Well,
with.
If there is blood spatter patterns,
how come they only have 86 people again? I mean, this is just crazy. I mean,
the inside of the
unreal,
door,
really.
That would indicate to me that she was, because of what Savannah told us, that her mother was taken out of her bed at night, right? I believe that she was threatened. She was controlled by, most likely, the gun that the offender had at his waist or his crotch area, and that he used the gun to threaten her, control her, and get her down to the front door. At that point, or shortly thereafter,
maybe
she realized he was trying to take her out of the house. And like
but see, I think that would be more like before you even got out the front door. Sure. But as you can see, we're struggling. I'm trying to get us to 350 to donate 500.
Definitely tell people, if an offender is trying to take you away from a location, he's trying to take you to a location where he has more privacy and control. And that never bodes well for the victim.
Can you hit the like button for God's sakes, you guys?
If an offender is trying to take
likes.
you
Maybe you could help
away
the
from a
channel
location,
out a little bit. You know, hit it.
Then fight for your life with your life, because that's how dramatically your chances of survival diminish if someone is taking you away from a place where you were secure. So I believe that Nancy fought him either inside the door or
yeah, I mean, it seems like she would be like, hey, don't take, you know, you're taking me out of here, and, you know.
just outside the door.
That's just common
depending
sense,
on whether the first appearance.
That's something we've always said all the time is, you know, she may have struggled right then.
Of this blood spatter evidence is. And at that point, she was likely either blitzed with overwhelming force, punched in the face or the nose, and
well, that is the driveway. You're carried to the end of this driveway and put into a car. I don't think he knows, like, the whole situation, right? I mean, if he's saying that she was carried all the way out to the street, that's not a reality. You know?
And she began bleeding, and
I mean, I guess anything's possible, you know. It seems more likely that this guy removed the camera knowing that they're going to pull a car right into there and didn't want it to be that clear on camera.
She went down either on her knees or just hunched over and then coughed up this blood, which is why we see this pattern. I think at that point, she was likely picked up by the offender. he or she having stepped in and smeared, or another body part of hers touching the blood that she had coughed up already, and smearing in the patterns that we see here. And then from that point forward, she was carried to whatever vehicle he had. And at that point, she was likely turned with her face up so that we see no further blood dripping from the face wounds that likely caused this pattern.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said, and I think last time you and I talked, then we talked once the recording was over, and you mentioned talked about, if someone tries to take you and put you in a car, should you ever get in? And I was saying, well, maybe you get in and then try to negotiate. You said no, you never. I mean, obviously with Nancy, she's an older woman.
That's where he's saying
she
smeared.
didn't probably have much control, but you're saying like for people watching, you fight to not get in the car, basically.
Right. I mean, it's rare, but when, for example, it happened just the other day, a young girl was, I think, walking home from school or waiting at her.
I wonder if that could be like your knuckles, right there. I don't know how that's probably not big enough for that. Yeah, that's not big enough. That's really small.
Bus stop, and a man came up in a van, got behind her, put a gun to her back, and ordered her into the van. Luckily, other students saw this happen and called the police. The guy took her in the van and went to a gas station, and for whatever reason brought her inside, and she mouthed the words, "Help me," to the clerk. The clerk got in between her and him and got him out of the store just as the police were arriving, and he was arrested. Now, that is a very rare set of circumstances. If there are people who witness you being taken away and can identify the offender, the license plate, whatever it is, you might have a larger chance of survival. But the fact that an offender is taking you to a place where they have more privacy and control, they literally are bringing you to a place where they have connections, and either they've been there before to surveil it, or this is someplace under their control. And both of those things mean that they might not want you to survive to be able to tell what happened and where it happened. So the best thing to do is use all your personal weapons, and that is biting someone, poking.
Yeah. What else do they talk about in here?
And I believe if this is the only place where there's blood, this must be where she was attacked. And that must mean that she had just fought him at that point. And that was used. Yeah,
it could also be like, like let's say she got hit in the nose in the living room, but it hadn't started bleeding yet until you're getting outside the door. So that's still a possibility. You don't know. Sometimes, the bloody noses like that don't just start bleeding instantly. Sometimes it's like, 20, 30 seconds later. What do you guys think? Do you think there was some inside the house also and then some outside the house?
To then control her. And then from that point, she was then lifted and taken away, which is why you don't see any other blood spatter evidence.
What does it say about...
Except there is blood spatter. See, the thing is I'm not sure why he didn't say right there. Brian should have said something like, well, there is actually a blood spatter at the end of this walkway here. Because look at how when you look at this right here, watch. See, just in that right there, I mean, you can see that like her head's kind of close to the ground here, like bent over or something, and then it swings over to the right, and then she's sort of more still on this side of the walkway, and I think the guy is walking right over here. See how it's just clear? And she's walking this way. Now you go, well, how come there's no footprints in her blood? Because it doesn't work that way. If you're dripping blood out of your nose and you're walking forward, some blood would hit your body, but then the other droplets would hit the ground, and that's all you're seeing right there. I think there's plenty of voids and so forth when you're looking at this. But when you look at this, the blood goes all the way down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the edge of the 5th tile there, And I'm sure there's probably even some more. And if you look at this, you know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's that last one before it gets really... I guess there's a 6th tile right there. So we got that one, 1, 2. Let me go back. Yeah, so there's one more after that one. And so you can see a blood droplet here. I just think that, you know, she was turned and then was walking on this side and he's on this side. And they make it out the arc. And then, if you remember, I think it's, let's see, back at the end here. Yeah, it's in this video. So that's a good one to look at. There you go. That's one I was kind of looking for. One of them. See, there's even blood in the 6th one. See that? 1, 2. So she's right there and then pivots. And then there's some drops coming all the way to here. And then we saw in this video that there's even blood right in this area. So, I don't know. What did they pick her up right there and carry her 10 feet? And then, I mean, it just seems... That doesn't make a lot of sense. No, she didn't, Cindy. That alone should have proved it. That was when I was recording it. So, anyways.
About the person that they would hurt an older 84-year-old woman like that. And maybe I'm just naive because I don't know. All of this is hard for me to wrap my mind around, like punching an old lady, you know. But to me, I'd have a much easier time like punching you and hurting you. The thought of like doing that to an old woman is like I can't even imagine. I'd rather just run away and abandon the whole plan, you know?
Right. Well, it just tells you a little bit more about his motivation. That there was a goal in mind, and he was going to do whatever it took.
She tried to scream and he punched her.
Accomplish
Is that what you're
that goal.
trying to say, Cindy?
And here it appears that goal had to do with getting Nancy out of her home in the middle of the night. What else he planned on doing, we have no idea. Now, this goes back to the whole ransom note issue.
People are
if one or more of those ransom notes was real, and if it wasn't used just as a decoy, a distraction to throw the family and then law enforcement off.
He may not have hit her at all. I mean, she could have, like, was struggling and hit her head against a wall or something, and then it started bleeding right after that. We don't know.
And then money.
I mean, she is very prone to bleeding. So there could be something really minor that happened, and it would bleed quite a bit. Because she was on blood thinners and, you know, just her age, etc.
Was obviously one of his goals. And in order to get that money, he would have to take her and have control of her and then threaten her life and then try to get the money. But the fact is that clearly that didn't actually happen in these circumstances. And probably that was because he was not as prepared or as capable criminally as he thought he was. And I think some of that comes out in having a very unique backpack, which is only purchased or sold at Walmarts, having a backpack that had bright reflective straps on it so that you know, he'd be easier to see, and having a face mask that allowed him to breathe.
I don't know. He probably didn't even think about those reflector things. They don't really look like that. I mean, on the camera, they look like a light.
And to lose hairs and to distribute his DNA wherever he went, as opposed to having a surgical mask, which would have covered that and prevented a lot of that from happening. So there are things that he did that he thought were sophisticated, but they were not criminally sophisticated, in fact.
Contact.
Well, also, he may have gotten nervous about the situation because of that communication. I don't know. I'm sure that the communication was made to try to sort of at that point.
What do you think is going through, I say his, I mean, we're assuming it's a man, mind now?
Hey guys, we're trying to have a challenge in here tonight. We're trying to get to $350 and then I'll donate $500. It just seems like everybody just went, yeah, forget it. Yeah. Okay, but this is what we do in here, so if you have the ability to, that would be great. Thanks.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was a man we saw in the video.
Yeah.
And I would be pretty confident saying that I just don't see any evidence of other people involved. Now, could there be other people involved? Sure. Could they have been involved and not at the scene? Sure. But there's no evidence to me that there are more than one offenders here. For example, if there's 3 different shoe print patterns in the blood stains, spatters, that would tell me that's something. But they may get 2 different kinds of DNA from the house that seem to be associated. But I just don't see that. I'm not aware of any of that evidence, so I would withhold any.
Yeah, I mean, he might have not taken his balaclava off, Karen, but the balaclava, has the ability to, hold a hair that might have been loose somewhere else. Like he gets in his car, he's sitting. I mean, how about this? He's in his car and has a headrest in it. There's hair on his headrest, and he puts the balaclava on, maybe at the final portion while he's sitting still in his car. Puts the balaclava on, then the back of his head gets a hair on it that was already on the headrest. Then when he's inside the house, the hair falls off. How about that?
The judgment about whether there were more than just the one.
I mean, that's
person
actually probably something
what
would actually
going
happen,
through his
but I
mind
just said.
Is likely, did I actually get away with this? Was I able to permanently conceal her body? And will there be
all right, you guys, we're trying to reach $350 tonight.
that they
if you
won't
guys could
be
please
able to tie
support
it to
the
me?
channel, that would be great.
I think
Thanks.
knowing and I would say absolutely watching every bit of coverage that there is on this case, perhaps even talking to people about it to try to find out more information, or even setting up an alibi with other people. In other words, that he was somewhere else and could not have been involved, those kinds of things. But I do believe that he likely has done or is doing everything he can to change his appearance, to change the appearance of his car, whatever vehicle he used, maybe get rid of it, sell it like Rex Heuermann did, get as much distance between himself and this crime scene as possible, and also as much distance between himself and the victim as possible. So leaving town for an emergency, staying away for a period of time until everything calms down. But I firmly believe that the mistakes that this offender made during the course of committing this crime and afterwards, and even before actually committing the crime in the pre-attack surveillance that appears to have happened, that he will be caught because of that. And it may be DNA through forensic genetics, any indication. Well, that's the other motive, which for the he had some contact with this family in the last months or years, in which he determined that Nancy lived alone and was vulnerable, and because of her daughter, that the daughter would be willing to pay significantly.
So he's into the
return of her
ransom
money.
part, right?
Yeah, it seems, financial motivation makes the most sense, but I did wonder when we learned that this person never responded in the Bitcoin account when the Guthries, seems like, reached out. It made me wonder, could the person be wanting to torture them in a way, like mentally, by not responding?
That's the other motive, which is a potential stalking motive. In other words, generally people who engage in stalking have some fantasy that they've built up in their mind that this person that they're fixated on should be with them and should listen to them and should pay attention to them. And when they don't get that kind of reaction from the person, then they...
I'm so sorry I didn't say hello earlier. Hey, come on. That's the kind of crap that I'm talking about. Nobody went, oh my God, Karen, you didn't say hello to me earlier. I'm so sorry I didn't say, come on, just relax, okay? If you have time to say hello to somebody. It's not a big deal.
Can escalate, and this could be an escalation to get the attention of
That's just
Nancy,
crazy.
excuse me, the this could be an escalation to
forgot.
get the attention of Savannah, and it certainly did accomplish that goal because Savannah made direct pleas to the abductor.
Okay. It's just,
and,
don't worry about it.
And,
you know, the world
and was listening
continue moving
to the abductor at that point. And so that in and of itself could have accomplished, seeing the pain and suffering in Savannah's face.
Yeah, that's one of the theories out there, just sort of as retribution, and their fantasy was to affect Savannah Guthrie. So that's why they got a hold of TMZ and everybody, because they wanted to keep this ruse, the ruse going, even though they knew that they already killed her. And maybe that's what they were waiting for.
That could have accomplished what this offender had wanted to do, because he may have gotten angry about her not paying him attention, even if he never actually reached out to her and the fantasy was all in his mind. That could be what motivated this. It could also be that he had some tangential connection through working on the house, the pool, the yard, or delivering, or even Ubering or lifting Nancy. All of those interactions could have innocently given him information that he then used to pull off this crime.
And you mentioned like Savannah's emotions. I mean, just because you work with so many victims too, I've wondered her just being in this limbo, not knowing what happened to her mom, not knowing who's responsible, not knowing whether that person could be a danger to her and her family. How do victims like deal with that? How have you told people to cope with that? Because at least, I mean, if her mom was found and it was awful and sad, and her mom was, at least I guess there's some kind of resolution. But when there's not, I mean, she's gone back to work. How do you do that?
It's extremely difficult, and I've been amazed over the course of my career at the strength and resilience of some of the surviving family members.
Now, so you can squish my face.
Go on and
That'd
on.
be great.
And unfortunately, sometimes.
So is this one of those nights we're just not going to be able to make it, you guys? We are. I have we're trying to get to $350, and then I'll donate $500 to a true crime related charity. You remember when the freaks used to, when we bring that up, we would just be boom, boom, humming along and just simply get there? What's the difference? It's crazy.
It's years or decades before anything is resolved, anything is known. Some of these families really suffer the entire time. Other people get into advocate.
And that's just a normal goal right there, you guys. It's not like it's an extra special night.
And trying to protect people from this kind of crime. And I've seen it where 20, 30, 40 years later, the case is actually resolved because of increases in technology or someone in a deathbed confession, or someone who no longer is afraid of the offender comes forward and gives information. And the only hope is, hopefully for this family, is that they talk to victim services, get counseling, because this is a very, very difficult and very traumatic experience. And it's the only way, I think, for them to actually move forward without just completely falling apart. That the motive was not burglary. That this is not a burglary gone bad.
Yeah, that's what I said.
This is a directed, motivated abduction of an elderly woman.
That alone should have proved it. See, that's what I've always said, you guys. I mean, it's like, I would say every single thing that he said, I've said probably on like February 3rd or whatever the hell this video came out with the blood on the ground. And even before when we were discussing it. Other than she was carried 20 feet and then put into a car. I didn't say that. But I've said that the person went there to abduct Nancy Guthrie. They blocked the camera to keep the vehicle that they're going to be parking from being seen by the camera. because it's so clear. I mean, if there was a car parked right there, you'd be able to make out the make and model. You wouldn't see a plate, but they didn't even want the make and model of their car noticed right there. And he goes over here and he kind of arcs the stem of the whatever plant he is there, and he makes it, kind of loops it over that, tries to, and I think he was probably successful. I think right after that he probably broke off the camera. As a matter of fact, you guys, what nobody's ever really said here? This could be like almost the moment where it was like disconnected, like and that's why it sort of ends there. The next clip didn't happen because it got disconnected. And it sort of ends on that shot right there. All right, you guys hear what I was saying a minute ago? We have a sort of a goal for tonight to get to 350 to be able to donate $500 to a true crime related charity, getting us to 1,000. And that's just sort of a basic night. 300 is where I donate the 5 that I donate. So we're trying to do. You know what? I've already explained it. I'm not gonna do it again. It's just. This doesn't seem like there's any interest. Where, Linda? Let's see. So anyways, that was about it for Jim Clemente there. Let's see. Now we've just had like 3 different people really tonight help support the channel. We are currently at 84 out of the 350. I wonder if I don't know, it's weird. Maybe the ducking the head there is really for camera purpose, and then he goes over to the right and then tries to block himself. Like he doesn't want somehow, but he doesn't seem like he cares that much because he's just fiddling around in front of it. And then even right there, it looks like he just turns and doesn't care about bending over or anything. Because he knows that nobody can tell who he is. And I would bet you that every single bit of clothing he has on right there is something he never wore before. Like he literally purchased every single thing that he's got on. And he is just doing it. He's just wearing it, and he knows that nothing on there, somebody could say, oh, that's so-and-so. He wears that all the time. Yeah, I think she just sort of bent over a little bit. Yeah, her body's more towards the door. She bends over. She coughed, and then she spun more to the right and then walks down the left center of the walkway. I mean, you can see it pretty good on this one right here. See, look at how there's no blood. I guess if we just go like right here, it's pretty clear still. But there's none over here. Nothing, there's no blood whatsoever from this point over. So he's on this side, and she's on this side. Now, originally, she bends over, probably her feet are on the mat there, and then coughs right there. And then her head spins like, here, I'll show you. Like, she coughs, right? So let's say her feet are kind of like standing, basically pointing in this direction like this. And she, not quite as bad as that. Let's say more like she's just got one foot out, another foot like this. She bends over and then coughs right there. Then she spins this way, right? And then from there, walk straight down this direction like that. And that's why you have, you've got the, blood droplets here, 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 here. And there's these big voids in there, too, where her foot might be. All right, we could definitely use another challenge, you guys. Thanks for being here. Linda Howe lives in Lindemold and Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Now let's see your emoji string, Linda. I don't know if it was down or just, she probably bent over to cough, then maybe is slightly bent over like the guy. I mean, we don't know, but it would just drip down. Or your nose sticks out away. Maybe she had her head over a little bit and she's dripping and then she's walking, but she's not really stepping in it because your stride goes further. She didn't step in her own blood because it doesn't work that way. You could try it yourself. It doesn't work. It would hit your shoe or your pant. The only blood that you're seeing is stuff that made it through her, hit the ground without hitting herself first. You get it? But she could be like somewhat like this guy. Not, obviously probably not like that, but maybe more like kind of like this-ish, This one's almost like, but if you bent completely over, his head would be maybe 18 inches off the ground, and she's short too, so her head would definitely be right in that range. And then she could have just bent her knees a little bit, crouched down, and cough too, Don't know. But it's cool though, right? It's neat to have what I observed, because I've covered so many cases out there, have it validated by somebody of that level. You're talking about Jim Clemente, and then also so has Joseph Scott Morgan, who was more of a forensic person. He said that it's expirated blood. And Clemente, though, says that and then goes through what he thinks is happening, which is exactly what I've said since the beginning. So that's good, He's just looking for something, Cindy. Man, you got a question for everything. He's looking on the ground for something to use. See, look. He's looking around right here for something to use to do something with the camera with. So he's got his flashlight out. He's looking right over there. And then he comes right, oh, there you go. And then he finds something. Then he comes back. I'm not really sure. Wow, I got 10 joules. What is that, a penny? 5 cents or something? Thanks. Why is he bending down like that? Airedale dogs are great pets. All right. Sweet. I don't see any of the videos of the jewels on the screen or anything. Yeah, I don't see. Do you guys see anything on the screen? Nothing showed up for me. Only the high dollar. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think one for 10 cents is going to make it. And by the way, if it's like 10 cents, if you're struggling for that, I would just keep it. You could probably go buy, a bar of soap or something. Yeah, I don't get it either. Have you guys noticed, though, that we just have had zero support for the channel here in the last, 30 minutes? And we're trying to reach 350, to donate $500. And we're just, it just stopped. Not sure what you guys want me to do here. I can't, I don't know what to do to get YouTube to send out notifications. I have no, it just doesn't work. Right. Yeah, that's all of the stuff that you guys are doing in joules. Came out to, I think, $34 or $35, which is cool, you know, like that's better than zero. But when you send in 10 joules, it doesn't help at all, really. I would just keep those. You know, that 10 joules is 5 cents. I mean, it's sort of embarrassing, really, that somebody would go, hey, here's 10 cents, Gray, you know, that just feels weird. Hey, thanks, Alley Cake. Appreciate it. Now that's because some people did their maximum amount. You know, they sent like 500 or 1,000 rubies in or something. You know, so there's people who did that. That's why it made it to that level. But, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys appreciate that I was, you know, I give you guys accurate information from the beginning there. So that's pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to switch over now and do something different. You've done plenty, Karen. You've helped out a lot tonight. There's just a lot of other people who haven't. And that's okay. I guess we'll have to do it another night. Hopefully we can do one coming up here soon. We might get lucky again. You never know. Maybe other people will show up later. Maybe there's something else going on right now. I don't know. All right. Well, here's what I want to try to do is, so like in the Charlie Kirk case, I'm trying to make like a full video of every single element. That just starts from like what the key things. Maybe you guys, we can all do it together and then see, you know, and then I'll make the video where I literally go through all the different parts. But it'd be cool to, you know, you guys can be part of trying to make it. All right? You guys interested in that at all, or? No? Which one? Let me see. Yeah. Workspaces. I think I want editing. There we go. That's the one. Hey, thanks Wild Bill again. And Karen and Alley Cake. Now we only need 250 more. Oh boy. I was watching a video on how to do this shape deal in here. I'll just get rid of that for now. But yeah, you can draw lines in Adobe Premiere, and then I'm trying to figure out a way to make it sort of disappear, so you can make the dotted line go, and follow around. I think that'd be pretty interesting. But what do you guys think should be first? Should it start off with the witness who said that he saw somebody there like a week before? I think that would be pretty good to start off with that. And then I also have scanner audio, so you could have him, he was walking around like the week before. And then maybe, I don't know if anybody can find it, but maybe you can find the Facebook post by Turning Point USA that said that they're going to be there. I think it's in one of the documents too, so I guess I could, if it's out there, it'd be cool to see that. Has anybody seen that? The Turning Point USA announces UVU event. Okay. The event was part of Charlie Kirk's American Comeback Tour and took place at... Well, that's different, I think. It says April 14th. What is that about? Okay. September 4th. I thought it was August is when they... 27th, something like that. Okay, there's Facebook. Let's see if there's anything in there. Let's see. Maybe I can just go to Turning Point USA. Be cool if you guys could help out. I mean, would I have to go all the way back to September? Or I think it was August 27th, wasn't it? Because I'm on their Turning Point USA page. Yeah, like if you find it, Cindy, on Turning Point USA's page, where it's the notification that the event's going to be there, that would be cool. Just send it to me on Facebook. So far I'm scrolling down. I'm March 31st. That just takes a while. Doesn't load quick. Wish there was a way. They used to have some where there was dates and you can go like scroll down the page. Yeah, March 23rd. I think this will be awesome, though. Put everything together in a chronological order, and then really get just really micro accurate during the I sort of picture how to do it. You do the I'm gonna make a surveillance shot, and then maybe make a character look like he's walking exactly what they're gonna see on camera. And then You know, he runs over there probably. When they say he gets up at 22, they're not putting in the seconds. So when they say 12:22, he stands up and runs. I think that's probably like 12:22 and 40 seconds. You know, some later time than he, or maybe even 12:22 and 30 seconds. He gets up and runs, and he gets over there at 12:22:45, and he starts shimmying over, and then it's 12:23:29 when the shot happens. I don't think it was like 12:22 flat. You know, I mean, it could have been. It's just they don't talk like that though. They give you the minute, not the seconds. And I really care about the seconds a lot. We just don't get that. Man, it's so hard to scroll back in here. It's crazy. I mean, is it on their website or anything? Like you go to their, I'm sure Turning Point USA has a website. Okay, I'm back to like February sometime. Or it seems like when you're on their page, can't you do a search or something? Okay, I can't scroll back that quick. Well, it's going to be like August 27th. Mine doesn't load up that fast, even on my computer. Maybe on a cell phone you can just zip through, I don't know. I'm like January. I think it was like the 24th, 25th, 26th, or 27th. Apparently they announced that they're going there. I don't know. I just too slow to move for me to find it. Oh, maybe it's under the images. How far back? October. It might be in the images where there's like a what was this one? Oh, that was in June. Okay. Okay, right there. I don't see it. Yeah. Oh, you got it? Okay, let's see. Did you get it on Facebook or somewhere else? But hey guys, any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? We're trying to reach a goal. Alright, there it is. That's what I was looking for, an image like that. Thank you. Well, what's the date of that, though? What was the date of that? See, that was the key, not the image. What date did that post come out? And then I need a screenshot showing the date on the post. Okay. Hope you, did you send me the picture or did you send me the post? I don't know what you should have just sent me the post, then I can go to it. Or is that it right there? I think you did. Okay, hold on. All right, August 27th, just like I said. Right. So I'm going to screenshot that with the date on it. Got it? All right, right there. Thanks, Cindy. Right there. Just like that. I just did this. But yeah, when I do my shows, you guys, my channel relies on you people to help support it when I do the show, just like we have for a long time. And tonight was going to try to go for a 350 so we could donate 500. GPUSA UVU ORM schedule. All right, so that's when it was put out there. And they were like first. Yeah, they were right out of the gate, the very first one. Oh wow, look at that, Phyllis Watson. It would have made that sound if I was playing it. Thank you. So that was the very first one that he was shot at when they were starting the tour up for the year. And thanks for finding that, Cindy. Thank you. Why don't you guys pretend that was a challenge and maybe do 5 gifted memberships? That would get us to half of the goal tonight. How's it going, Phyllis Watson? Wow, the the blue mod colors inside of the fuchsia image, it's like, it hurts my eyes. It feels like I'm gonna have a seizure looking at that. And I didn't have the right screen on either. Like if we had this one on, you could see it better. Would have shown up in that top right there. Guess not. You got her as soon as you wanted to. Yeah, nobody's required to be here. Yep, that's Benny. He seems to be starting to warm up a little bit. He snuggled up next to me and I petted him for a while, Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. So now we're at, let's see, 157. All right, 157. We have no coffees or anything like that. Not that I'm aware of, anyways. Yeah. So no coffees, no. The only thing we have right here is the 157. All right, so we have that time. Then what would be next? Maybe we'll have it where, you know, like a week later, that's when we hear the audio file, right? So we have, let me just go with the, I'm gonna say this is number 1. This Turning Point USA thing. And I'm not really gonna make it a thing about like who Tyler Robinson is and who Lance Twiggs is. You know, I'll probably mention that part, but it's not like a big, it's not really, I mean, I guess it's relevant in terms of like, you know, why Tyler did something. Did really? Hey, wow, yeah. Georgina passed away, yeah. You didn't know that, Cindy? We went over it quite a few times. You must have not missed. Yeah, Georgina, I had been talking with Georgina Stoliker. Like, she'd leave me all these messages on, she had a brain tumor and other ones throughout her body. They did surgery, and I don't know. She seemed like she had good spirits and everything. And then I just never heard from her again. So we did get her a brick at Delphi, though, which is awesome, right? So she has a brick over at Delphi, and then we did our donation to our scholarship fund, which is for the Fallen Freaks, right? I thought maybe we could do that tonight, you know. We have a scholarship fund on bull.org, and we're currently in the process of. Have you looked at any of them? Lisa Valenzuela? Yeah, she was really cool. I mean, you should hear how she, like, the messages I have. They're just, I have so many of them. She just is so, like laughing. She had a really interesting life. I always tried to get her to come on and tell us, but she didn't do it. And not my place to tell about it, but she would always. She had these stories, you just go, my God, man, that's like you could write a book on that. What happened? Who did the dog one there? What's that? Oh, Carl sent in 800 joules. Not sure what that is, but thanks, Carl. So I guess if it's 2 or a penny, then what is that? $4 or something? I think. I don't know. I have no idea how the thing works. A husky dog. But yeah, you guys, we're trying to get up to $350 tonight, which is just a regular, just basic kind of night. And then I'm going to donate $500 to a place. So maybe, you know, we can decide, we can start adding to the next round of scholarships for forensic sciences, or send 500 into some other place like Rain, NCMEC, etc. But we got to get to the 350, and we're currently just kind of stumbling around at 155. All right, so if you guys have the ability to, that would be awesome. Thank you. Now, it's cool seeing, it's weird how they can get a graphic to just show up in the middle of a chat like that. All right, so after we have the Turning Point, okay, it's been publicized on August 27th. Then we have the interview with a witness. That might be pretty interesting because that's the one that shows that there was a guy that looked like Tyler. I wonder if, but see, that sort of makes it tough because it's when you're telling the story, why would this guy, you'd already have to know about the other. I guess we could bring that up later, I guess. So now we're just sort of doing the timeline. But then you would want to say that it appears that there was a person that matched Tyler Robinson's. Now we need about Sunshine for 200 joules. I don't know how much these things are worth. But yeah, we're about $200 short of reaching the goal. There you go. So 200 joules, is that a buck or so? I don't know what that is. Isn't 2 joules a penny? And so like then 100 pennies, I'm not sure, man. It doesn't work that well though for the support. It's more just for fun, I think. I mean, if you had 1 million people watching and they're all, then it would all add up, but in general it doesn't. I don't know. I think somebody said it was. I don't know what like those 800 that you did, Carl. What was that? What did it say that was worth? I have no way to add it up. There's no screen or anything, so I don't know where we're at. Yeah, I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna make that witness number 2, but I'll leave out the portions where he says that it looked. I guess that's sort of. It's okay that he mentions that he looked like somebody else. Like he looked like the guy in the image that law enforcement put out. So I'm gonna put that in there. That'll be number 2. And then we could skip right now. Then we go all the way to the date. No, it's 10. So 800 is 1050. Weird. So does YouTube get that, or how does that work? I don't know. Because that would be a weird number. That's like 2.5.
Richard, what's the matter? Currently yelling at each other.
Hey, well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Currently yelling at each other. All right. Awesome. And then what was the 200? What was that worth? The 200 sunshine joules. Oh, Apple, yeah, they get 30%. They put it on top of it. So yeah, it's like $8. So Apple Pay gets the rest. Hey, look at that. We got one from Lisa Valenzuela, a challenge. If we get 5 memberships, she'll donate 25 in coffee. So that'd be a pretty good jump there. Oh, $3.99. Oh, so that's more like 2. Okay, but they again charged you on that one. So it's probably more like like 3 or 2 something. All right, there's one by Karen there. Okay, so currently we have when the event was happening. We have this guy that saw somebody that looked like that. And then I think we go right to, then I think the surveillance footage. I want to do like little fillers with a text file that said. So then there's surveillance footage on this one, I think. Hold on. It's on one of these. That one. At 8:22, that's when we see him first. So number 3 is 8:22. 8:22 a.m. Dodge. What is it? Challenger. All right, cool. There we go. What do you guys think? Right, that's cool, right? Go right to that. Now he's on campus that day. Because before that, there's nothing, you know, there's going to be nothing in the news that are like, oh, wow, hey, thanks, everybody. Look at that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 channel memberships there, and then 25 in coffee, I think. Yeah, so I think right now we're only about like 120 something. Let's see. 110, 210, 235. We are about 115 short still. Oh, geez, Cindy. What do you mean scheme these videos up? That's not the right word. But yeah. We don't do self-advertising on here. Yeah. Let's see, what do we got? All right. Right, yeah. Yeah, I just sometimes I get up and I just say, hey, wow, thanks, Carl. Holy crap, look at it. Let me see if I can get that music somewhere else. Since it's not piping in.
Awesome show tonight, great.
We just have to play it. Where is it? Thank you, man. Very cool. I think it's this one right here. Hold on. Right here. Is that the one? I think it's right here. There we go. All right. There we go. Thank you. Haven't seen one of those red ones in a while. We got 2 of them in a row tonight. Now the red one and then the fuchsia one. Those aren't very common anymore. So thank you guys. So what does that mean? Where does that put us? Yeah, we need like another 5 memberships or so. If we can get that, I think we're there, and then we'll donate $500. Anyways, thank you so much, you guys. Carl, and then everybody who did you did a challenge up there, and then we had Phyllis. That was like the old days almost, right in that little time frame where we'd say, hey guys, if we get to 350, that's what it would look like in the first 10 minutes, and we'd be already there, you know. Oh, you just came into did you see the part where Jim Clemente said exactly the same thing that I've been saying in the Guthrie case since the beginning? That it was expirated blood, that she probably bent over or was standing right there, then turned. He thinks she was carried and then removed, and then also that the killer went there to specifically remove Nancy Guthrie from the home, etc. It's almost like, just like what Wild Bill, when he sent me the email, he said, it's almost as if they were listening to your show. It's amazing. I guess that just shows that we do accurate stuff over here. At least the perception of what we're seeing is believed by other people that have been doing it for a long time. Hey, cool, Carl. All right. I think the key with shorts is just you don't need to spend a lot of time on a short, you know. Like you just have, if you have something to say, just say it, and then put the short out there and it gets into the feed, and at least people are like, oh, that's interesting. You know, just some short little. I just wish and I guess got to build it in where it's just sort of like something that's really simple to do. Because even in, like, when I use this program called OBS Studio, it has a vertical window that you can pop up, and you can just record that if you feel like it. Anyway, thanks again, Carl. Right. Okay, but we need, if we get 5 more gifted memberships, you guys, then we'll donate the $500. Right? That's where we're at. Okay, so we have this one, and then, you know what should be next is, this is 822, so I think what would be next would be one of these more recent documents that came out. And I think I can find those pretty quick. Charlie Kirk. I think I have it in this document. Warrants. The parking garage. There you go. That's it. It's amazing how they're going to have, I'm going to tell you this right now, they're going to have one of the best timelines you've ever seen. It is going to be, they're going to be missing seconds, not minutes. I mean, it is just going to be ding 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 shoot ding 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 ding. It's just going to keep going. All right, 4 more. It's weird that you didn't know that about Georgina, Cindy. Kind of surprised. All right, so addition, Agent Mortensen reviewed. Ah, weird. So this is 822. So we have this one here. This is the next thing that we're aware of, is that UVU parking structure located on Campus Drive at approximately 800 West at 8:28 hours. After entering the structure, Robinson parked and exited. All right, so we know exactly where this is. And I'm just going to put this part as number 4 right there. This one's way, like, really technical, so we've got to do it. You guys aren't interested? Come on, you guys. We need 4 more gifted memberships, and we'll donate $500. All right. 924, and then he goes into the woods. And then it seems like... Let me open up this. It's almost like I don't know if I need to start doing my show at 3 in the morning or something when nobody else is awake. I don't know, man. It's just so hard to even get over 100 people these days. And it's just, there's obviously something else happening on a show, a different show. I just don't know it. I don't know where it is or how to... Did I get rid of the Orem? Oh, it's way... Huh. What happened to it? Oh, it's over here. I must have turned it all off. I did. I remember doing that earlier today. There it is. Yeah, so this might be kind of cool. So, like, take this image here, turn it all off, go like this. Okay. And then you could say that, I mean, I guess just taking that, you could draw a line here. Maybe go like this. And then goes in right there. And maybe that's number 5. And then go back down to Google Earth. You guys not interested? We're just we need 4 more gifted memberships to get to the goal there. Okay, there's 2. We need 3 more. Thanks, Phyllis Watson. You know, it's just weird. Very strange. All right, then you're down here. And then we'll maybe do a close-up just so you sort of see what it looks like. So he'd be driving, I think he went right into that tunnel right there. Just like that. See? And then this one, you can do a image. Turn off all this stuff. And then we could do 1080, save image. It's a different case. Huh, that's a long time ago. Huh? What do you mean they're all nothing in there? I don't get it. It's right there. Full video. In order. It's blank. There's no way that's blank. That's crazy. Oh, I see. There's nothing right there. Garage. Jeez. Yeah. Garage, and that would be number 6. All right, guys, we need 3 more. Garage. All right, then it's I guess that would be maybe the description should be what would be. Oh, God, you almost have to break that up, don't you? After entering the structure, Robinson Park. And let me turn this off. Ah, jeez. Where did that go? Man, that's just... Yeah, I think that would be the first one. Or maybe that's not a good way to do that. Here, I know. I'm going to take that off. And then in here, I can do the highlighter. Yeah, no, I want to make, I want that like yellow or something. This is how long it takes to do this crap, you know. One. Yeah, so I guess that could be the first one. And then, but maybe it might be cool to make the rest of it sort of dark, so it's not focused in on yet. Oh man, what the hell happened there? Alright guys, we still need the 3 more to donate the 500. Who's gonna do it? There we go, there's one. I guess that probably doesn't need to be yellow. Just be like that. There you go. That's 4. Okay, then after that, after we show the other ones, oh wait, let me put that back on there. There we go, then get rid of this. And make this one. Can I just turn that into a different color? Oh, there you go. Perfect. Just like that. I don't know. That $35 in yesterday's show is what was given, yeah. We're after YouTube took us 30%. But what we're looking for right now, you guys, is 3 more gifted channel memberships, and then I'll donate $500 to a charity. That's what my challenge was at the beginning of the show, and for some unknown reason, we're just plopped dead short right after 2 or 3 people gave a ton to get to the level, and we're still not there yet. So if 3 more of you, like Jim, you know, let's get moving here, get some jokes going. Let's try to get 3 more gifted memberships. That would be awesome. Instead, we're just sitting there waiting, hoping again. Alright, so that's the next one. So that would probably be 7. 5, 6, 7. Alright, there we go. Now we're on number 7. Oh, wow, we got miraculously, Carl came in again. Where were the rest of you guys, huh? Not the rest of you, but, you know, the ones that are just sort of, yeah, somebody else will do it. Somebody else will help out. Let's, you know, we're trying to reach goals and make shit happen, even in our slow times, all right? So thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. Okay, see you later. All right, so we got the, I got it in there. See that? We didn't even get the jokes, the joke stuff going on in here. All right, you guys want to... What do you want to do? Do you want to do it to our scholarship fund? Again? Cindy, what do you want? Looks like Cindy bailed again. She always does that. We can do the scholarship fund, or we could do... I mean, it's good to start it up again because we've just completed the 6,000, and that one's already... I don't know if Lisa or... You know, some of these people send their videos in and you can't even watch them because they're behind some wall or something. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? It's a charity too. It's through bold.org. We have a scholarship fund there. We could also do Knick-Knack or... Well, geez, Jim, you'd have to do it now, but thank you. I was just trying to get the 3 that we were... Thank you, Jim Law. Oh, Jesus, man. Hello, you guys. Anybody out there? Which one do you want to do? Man, you guys are so... It's just so weird. It's almost like what I'm saying doesn't even register in your heads. What I asked was, do you guys want to do the scholarship or any of the other ones? Waiting for a reply. Okay, good. 2 people have already said scholarship fund. We're going with that. Oh, there goes my stomach. All right, we're in there. Cool. All right, so here's our you know, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but whatever you call it, the splash page. And see, we've already awarded 18,000, right? Currently, there is a one that's active with 21 applicants for this 6,000. 3 students get 2,000. It's the Fallen Freaks Scholarship, right? And what that is for anybody, it's just in honor of any freaks or that have been part of the channel, that have passed away, whatever. Well, it's just for if they passed away, not whatever. And we donate, you know, in their honor, all of these, you know, different, it's just for forensics. So we're currently at 24,000 has been raised, 18 given out. The 6,000 is already, a scholarship is active with 21 applicants. And now we're going to start up a new one for the next time. What does the pig say while sunbathing? Jeez. Hold on, let me do it again. Michelle H. said, what does the pig say while sunbathing? I'm bacon. I'm bacon. You get it? Not just the... It's like double entendre. Man, that's a good one there. Hey, for Tony's Pony. I'm bacon. That's ridiculous. What does the pig say while sunbathing? Yeah. All right, where's this? Do I go here? Oh yeah, so I just have to contribute more now. All right, so I'm going to do it over here. But you can see us right here. Look at the freaks. It's all from, you know, every single time. 2,000, 1,000, 500, 500, 1,000. You know, if you want to look at all of them. I mean, it really, this is us. I think at the beginning, a couple different people, you know, like there's Kubi, Tracy, and then there's 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 500, 1715. I think I was trying to make a round number there. And then 1500, 2500, 1000, 1200, 500, 500, 500, 1000, 1000, 1000, 2000, 1000, 500, 500, 1000. So for all you trolls out there that don't believe that we send it in, go F yourselves, okay? Thank you very much. I'm showing you right there on the screen, 24,000 right there, you losers. He didn't really do it. He's just got a screenshot, you guys. It's just a screenshot. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Thank you. Let's see. There we go. Let me think. Yeah. And there's the number right there on the screen. I think I have to go to my bank or something. Hold on. Hold on. From Gray, I'll just say the freaks of Gray Hughes investigates. And in honor of the fallen freaks. Alright. And then I think I have to use my bank. So no, see, they want me to donate like $100 in like a gift to them. It's like, no, I'm not giving you anything. Like they want me to send in, I want to send 500 in. They put 600 in because they want me to send them $100 in some sort of, I don't even know what it is. Right. Okay, I gotta do the bank now. Okay, I gotta check my phone. They're sending me. Oh, that's right. I put it on no notifications. Do not disturb. That it came in anyways. Just didn't make a sound. All right. So there it is right there. Says, thank you for your donation. You'll receive an email shortly confirming that your donation is in process. It'll take 5 days because you do it through ACH. All right, so there you go, everybody. Can I get a boom shakalaka? All right, so we're at 1,000 this month already. Not too bad. Hopefully, if we have some sort of a, I don't know. It's been not a very good month so far. Very hard, very struggly every single night. And, at least this channel does something different outside of the show. It just absolutely doesn't get rewarded by it by any of the people out there. They think, screw you, Gray. I just want to watch the show. Shut the hell up. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, but we try to make a difference in the real world. As well as, to be honest with you, nobody makes a difference out there. Very few people just by covering the shows. We do it in a way where I think we make a difference covering the cases, because we put out the factual information that combats the more successful, more popular conspiracy garbage. All right, so we do that. Yeah, you almost we're almost martyrs, to be honest with you, because I could pretend that I believed in all the stuff that Candace Owens and the nut jobs and the Koberger case and all that shit, and I'd be really good at it. I could sell it, but I would never do it because it's just, I wouldn't be able to look in the mirror at night. I'm proud of how the channel works. Now, outside of that, I have to spend a lot of time on my shows, bringing in support for the channel with ad revenue, etc., so that I can eventually, at the end of the month, we send in thousands of dollars to true crime-related charities, thousands that never would have been sent in otherwise. Yeah, that's just the truth. Now, you guys are all more than welcome to send in money to various charities on your own, etc., etc., etc. I just do it out of the income from the channel. Now, okay, hold on. As someone who donates to credible research channels, I look for transparency and accuracy. Can you explain your funding structure and the sources behind your Charlie Kirk? What does that even mean? What do you mean? Explain your funding structure. I just donate a large portion of the income that comes into the channel, you idiot. And then what is your part about behind your Charlie Kirk coverage? I cover tons and tons of cases. This is a true crime channel. And, what do you mean my sources? I tell you what it is, man. My sources are Fed slop. That's what you want to hear, right, Sloan? If you ever believe anything that the Feds say, it's Fed slop. It's all crap. Get out of here. Jesus, what an idiot. I just asked the question, Gray. All right. Does anybody believe that? Come on, go ahead. These are the passive-aggressive jackasses that show up on these live streams, knowing that they're not just asking a question. They're trying to create a problem. Anyways, let's see if I got my email. And it's just so I'm not raising money in here as a research channel, okay? We just send money off to various true crime related charities throughout the year. In fact, last year we did like $46,000. Yeah, Sloan's a moron. Get out of here. All right, let's see. Let me see if I got the email, and then we'll get back to putting together some of these timelines. Hey, look at that. Phyllis sent me a coffee. Thank you. And so did Lisa Valenzuela, a bucket and a half. That's pretty good. All right, so here's the information. Wait, what does this mean? Oh, wow, that's weird. Okay. Let's try. Stripe is how that worked. All right, so we've got this came in. It doesn't say the amount, unfortunately. It just says that's the email it came in. Thank you for your generous donation to Fallen Freaks. Your gift is currently being processed. It'll be there in 5 days. So I'll show it to you in 5 days when it gets there. All right. But we just sent $500. So suck it up, trolls. We're at 24,000 in scholarships. Isn't that like really cool, you guys? For the people who actually give a damn that are here, don't you think that's pretty cool? Like that we have a scholarship fund that we've given $24,000 to, or at least 18 and 6 is about to be given out for students that are trying to find funding to become, get into the forensic world, the criminal justice. Not just forensic, but criminal justice. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's awesome. And then we have that. And then we have our DNA fund, where we've put over 100,000 into for identifying Jane and John Does. Okay, Sloan? God, you're interesting. I wish we could have a show called Sloan Before. What was he after? You know what I mean? So we had Sloan before. Did he become normal after? We just don't know yet. Did he become a rational human being after that? So I wonder if he has another name called Sloan after, and then he's this really nice person. We just don't know. We just don't know at this point. Hey, can somebody check out, does it show that I'm even live? You know that little live icon that shows up? I wonder if that's a problem. Because that used to be one, and sometimes it still pops up. It's weird, too, because, like, you know, all the mods, you guys are all mods because you're always here watching and helping out and stuff. And so when there's not a lot of people watching, that's all that's typing in are the mods. But when there's, you know, 400 or 500 watching, then, you know, the mods are just dealing with the people in here. But recently, we've had so few people watching, I don't have any idea why or anything. Man, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to figure out why it's like my channel isn't being... It doesn't show up anywhere, you know? Like if you went to Google, it's not going to show up for the people... Because what YouTube does is it recommends videos and shows that match what people are looking for. And that's not what's happening with me. So I don't know, man. It's frustrating. Okay, so where are we at right now? We are at the... Oh, so that one's later, right? Yeah, it's way later in the evening. So maybe I should just get it now, though. Right here. I don't know when that'll be, though. It might be like 20 or something. I'll just mark it like that, or 30. Yeah, it's way later. This is one of the last things. Alright, so let's see where we're at. Okay. Open this up. And we have... Oh, that needs to be 6, 5, 6. Yeah, this should be 6 first. 6 garage. What's funny there? Tired of it all? What happened? Oh, you're laughing at Jim again. All right. So the first one is when the event was, when it was posted on Facebook. And the next one is the interview with somebody that saw him there a week before. The third one is the Dodge Challenger. The fourth one is the vehicle going into the parking structure at, I think it was, 8:28 in the morning, which is 6 minutes after we see the Dodge Challenger. And then this is, how he probably came in, like that. And then there's the actual garage that he went in. And then after entering the structure, he parked and exited the vehicle, walked around. Then I could probably, if I went up in the air about like this, and I could do something, let's see, probably just like that would be enough. So here, you could have him go over there and over here. So you at least visited those two spots in that time frame. Some of that is my money. I think it's really cool. Yeah, isn't that cool? It goes to, yeah, like all of you guys. So the way, like, let's say, when I'm donating the 500 there, all those different nights that people are supporting the channel, it's just part of that, It's just, it is what it is, right? And so, like last month, we donated $4,000. There wasn't anybody that donated $4,000. There's people that donated a lot of money, I know that, but it's just sort of the bulk effect. You put it all together, and the channel makes an income to survive, and then we try to donate thousands of dollars. That's why we're at $293,000 since January of 2020. Of course, the trolls never mention any of that part. They just talk about, look at Gray, look at Gray, look at Gray. They're just losers, and it's just the way it is. They can't help themselves. Every day they wake up in the mirror, look in the mirror, and they realize they're looking at a loser because they can't do anything with their own life to make a difference. So they have to try to destroy somebody who is. Called artificial. That's a pretty good one there. See, look at Phyllis just had like a one that, hey Jim, that one's got to be a winner there, don't you think? Come on, look at this one right here. It said, I used to be blonde, dyed my hair a lovely shade of brown called artificial intelligence. Because if the real color's blonde, she's dumb as a box of rocks. So you put the brown hair on there, and all of a sudden, it's like if you have a British accent, you could be dumb. There's a YouTuber actually that has sort of a British accent. He covered the Idaho 4 case. He's one of the dumbest people on planet Earth, but he can sure sell what he's telling you. Okay? And it's because he's got the British accent. If that same idiot said the same shit with just a normal accent, nobody would believe a damn thing he was saying. It's incredible. Yeah. All right, so there's that. And we know that that was related to that document. So then what's right after that? So they don't see him again. And I think the next thing that you see is Tyler walking here. That's all. That's the next thing that we have. But they also said that the vehicle... Oh, let me go back to that. Yeah, that makes it harder. Let me redo that, actually. And go about like this. It needs to have more space here. Maybe like that. Alright, so he's down here, here, and then he makes his way up into this area again, like that. It's not thankful for the channel, though. If I was doing conspiracies, I'd be doing a lot better. But unfortunately, it doesn't sell what I do. If it sold, there'd be 5, 6, 7, 800 people watching here. It just doesn't. Nobody cares. I mean, you guys do, but when I say nobody, I mean the masses obviously don't, you know. All right, so that showed that he drove, because I remember in that last part of that document, let's see, it's, maybe I'll redo, that at some point, but over here it said, Robinson leaves the parking structure in his vehicle at 9:32 and travels northeast from the campus, which is in the direction from which he is later observed walking. Right. So that's why I drew up here, because it's northeast of campus. He went over here. I wonder if they actually then, because they're saying that, he drove like this and then took that street. That actually makes sense. And that shows, okay, northeast, right? He's heading that way, and then he probably came up like this and around. And by the way, how do you get out of that garage in your vehicle? Does it come out the same side there? Or? That was the entrance. Okay, how do you get out of there? Let me look at that again. Hadn't thought of that. But hey guys, if you still want to help support the channel, that'd be awesome. Gotta have good nights too. Oh, so it does have an enter and exit here. So there's the exit, enter. So he came in there and he must have exited right there. And then they must think, unless they just saw him on camera up here and knew that he went up there. But it must be that he drove this direction. And then they must have another camera that maybe shows him go like this. Or there's a camera up in this area that showed that it went there next. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they knew that he went northeast of campus, because that's right up in here. So if you took this street, it does tend to go up in that direction. Yeah, Terminus is from Walking Dead. No, I mean, literally, the guy, there's a guy that has a British accent that's covered the Idaho 4 case, and he's just, he is an absolute embarrassment, but nobody seems to care. It's like, he's just, that's what makes me so frustrated with this whole venture of being on YouTube. It's just how accepting people are of complete bullshit. It's just, it's unbelievable. There's people that should win awards on how bad they are. And they get rewarded for it. Because they're interesting. Yay! It's unreal. Let's see. That was a pretty good one. So, I guess after that image, it's up in that area. And next is the him in red walking by. That's the next time we know anything about him. Now, law enforcement hasn't mentioned that in any, like the attorney general or whatever, the DA, etc., the prosecutors, they haven't mentioned this dry run time frame. And that absolutely is Tyler Robinson. Okay, so that means I'm going to do a text file on this one. So this is going to be number 9. And it's going to have, hold on a second. So number 9 is going to be at, I think it's 9:57, right? Here he comes. Okay, it changes. Alright, right there you see him. That's the first moment in time. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Look at that. You kind of see him right even in there. And he's... Oh, man, that's too bad. Man, if I had recorded a little bit more, you could tell that he came down that street. You would have seen him back there. Like over here. So the very first time you can see him is just right there through the branches at 9:57:25. $9:57:25. 9:57:25. Ah, Jesus. 25. 2, and then let's see when the last bit is. Anybody out there send in some super chats instead of having these really long lulls where it just sort of feels like, yeah. And by the way, what happened? There was Carl C's up there, and then there was a bunch after that, but they've disappeared off of my screen. Or there wasn't a bunch, but there was a few, right? Yeah, there was... He gifted 5 after that, too. Oh, yeah, Armchair Detective. Yeah, he was ridiculous. What did he do wrong where he... I mean, he was a conspiracy nutter, too, but what got him kicked off of YouTube? Terminus. That Armchair Detective. He had one thing he talked about one time was right, though. That you could see the children of Chris Watts, their feet underneath the... moving by the truck over there. That was pretty crazy. Other than that, he was nuts. Would you really, Phyllis? Your brown hair? The drop kicked the keyboard, yeah. Yeah, it is get kind of tedious, but I like the tedious stuff. You know, that's the thing. I just wish other people were more interested. And so I sync these up, right? So it skips right over to this one. And then you can actually still see him walking. He's right there. And I think the last time you see him, he's kind of like, let's see. If you scrub it by, you can see it pretty good, right there. See that? Right there. He's about right in this area. And that time frame is 9:59:16. So it's almost 2 minutes that I have him on camera here. 9:59. 16. And that is dry run. Boom. Got it. Very cool. Wow, so what we're looking at here is he was right at... This house here is the one that has that camera on it. So he walked by like this. Came from up here somewhere. And then we just saw him walk over here to about right there. So it took him 2 minutes almost to get from here to there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, you know, and then like 10, you know, you're right in there. See, that's exactly right. So I walked it, and it took 10 minutes. So I think that could be, I'm going to get that in here right after this, I think. And show the route. And then the next one will be the real run. Right? So we have that here. And then the next, so we just talked about that. And then the next one is all the way over here. And this turns out to be, this is, when they say hours before, it is, but, you know, I mean, I guess it's like 2 hours. They were thinking 4, but it wasn't. All right, so he's on camera, and all I know is this is right around 10:07. All right. So number 10. $10:07. Yeah. 10:07. There you go. And that's dry run. I don't know. I could re-upload. You know, that's what I should do is start re-uploading some of the older videos I made in the case that nobody seemed to have watched. You know, give them another shot with a pimped up thumbnail, you know, like, this didn't really happen, did it? Have my face, what? That's how you do it, man. I should do that, actually. Maybe I'll start doing that. Even some really old ones, you know, like, hey, you guys, that's not a bad idea. I have so much content out there. I could put together some of my old Jody Arias, even some of those cool animations I did, but then have my current voice talking about it. Does anybody out there know how to make really good thumbnails? I think that'd be worth trying to do something like that. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not sure how to do it. Here, let's see. Here, let's see what ChatGPT can do really quick. Let's see. ChatGPT. Make me a really pimped out thumbnail showing Jody Arias smiling while holding a bloody, dripping plastic knife. Okay. Plastic knife using YouTube's thumbnail size. There we go. Let's see. Oh, it's making something. It's making one. Here we go.
We're so sorry, but the image we created may violate our content policies.
Okay.
If you think we got it wrong, please retry or edit your prompt.
Yeah. It's make it cartoony. And someone that merely looks like Jody Arias. Okay. Have her smiling maniacally. All right. looking hooked on it too. What do you mean looking hooked? Look at that. That's a great thumbnail right there. Look at that thing. Jody is smiling with a... That one's freaking awesome, man. Oh, this is the... that one is the shit. Who wouldn't click on that one right there, huh? Who wouldn't click on that one? Come on, put a 1 if you wouldn't click on that sucker. Oh, jeez. I did it! Oh, man, look at that. That is awesome. And that's kind of like, you know, that's a good thumbnail right there. Isn't it? You gotta admit, like, that's pretty good right there. Hey, wow, man. Hey, wow, that's pretty good. Let's see what it says. Oh, you gonna make another one when I just said, wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, that was definitely a clickable one right there. Oh, here's the other one. Lie, stab, repeat. Lie, stab, repeat. There he is, Tyler. I mean, not Tyler. What was his name? Travis. I knew it started with a T. Jody Arias and the bloody plastic knife. Well, it wasn't plastic. I was just wanted you to draw it. Which one? I think this one's the one, right? The one in the middle. Like this one, no, but this one right there, yes, that one. It's saying one last tweak. It's coming up with one here. Okay. She didn't have a plastic knife, but I like the maniacal face one. Can you have her holding a camera in one hand and a knife in the other? I thought it was spelled like that. I don't know why I screwed up on that. It was weird. I was thinking, is this how you spell his name? Yeah, thanks for letting me know. I don't like to not have their name spelled right. Clemente. There we go. Well, no, this is a different FBI guy named Clemente. Hey, look. See, that one's pretty good, too. Look at that one. Jody Arias, Psycho or Predator. She smiled for the camera, then stabbed him 27 times. That one's pretty good right there, right? And I think that's what she had, right? A Canon Cyber Shot something. Look at that. That's really pretty good. I'm going to have to use some of these, like... Yeah, how about let's try another one. Very good, very good. Make another one where she is in the famous bathroom, or in the bathroom. I don't know. I was thinking, oh yeah. Moving a cartoon version of Travis around in the hall. I wonder if he could even do that. I wouldn't mind putting his face on there. It wouldn't be satire. That would be an actual video. That'd just be the thumbnail that people would click on it. I don't mind putting him on there. It's not satire. That would be, it's just to get people to click on the damn video, you know. All right, let's see what it's going to do right here. Nah, I think it's overthinking. It's called virtue signaling. Yeah, so it wasn't able to do that one. Yeah, so I think that one's pretty good. I mean, his face looked normal. It wasn't like he was, you know, something's wrong with him. I didn't have anything being done to him. I think I'm gonna start using that. That was pretty good. I mean, that one right here is just money. You know, if you could somehow put other words in there. Jody Arias bloody connive. That's pretty funny. Trial of the century. That doesn't even. That looks weird. I mean, what is she holding there? A knife shape? It goes up and then bends that way. This one is weird too. It's like she's holding it like a cell phone. Well, in the last one that you created, let's see if that one works. Yeah, but I'm not making videos on like Lori Daybell. I mean, I guess if I went back just the same way, I would. Now, what happened there? Anyways. Well, anyways, it was something. Here, maybe I can put this in there. What is that going to do? Make a pimped out thumbnail using YouTube size standard. Using this image, remove the green outline and say something regarding Tyler Robinson's dry run before the killing of Charlie Kirk. Make it cartoony. Let's see. I want to see if we can do something with that.
Erno fetch HTTP image gen service OpenAI.svc cluster local 8081 JTPT worker convitwine failed.
I gotta wait.
429 B. Ace, you're generating to ensure the best experience for everyone. We have rate limits in place. Please wait for 2 minutes before generating more images.
I'll wait 2 minutes.
Type images. Param null code rate limit exceeded.
Are you guys still here?
Setch.
I can
Message.
take off if you guys
You're
want.
generating images too quickly. To ensure the best experience
There's
for
only 80
everyone,
people watching
we have rate
and
limits in
nobody's
place.
commenting.
Please wait for 2 minutes before generating more images.
Yet again.
Type images.
I know you're here, but nobody's, you know, it's just dead as a doornail again. You know, you got 80 people watching. There's nobody typing. Nobody's. It's not fun. You know, it's not fun for me. Alright, so this is number 10, and that's all we have. And then 11 would be when he's walking, this one right here at 11:46. Because we don't know where he went when he was doing the dry run. 11. 11:46. 04. Walking on. This is 800 south. On 800 south. Alright. Then the next one, number 12. And actually he's on that camera till 11:46:47. So almost 2 minutes again. Wait, 11. Oh no, not 2 minutes. 11. About 40 something, 43 seconds. Oh yeah, it's kind of late, I guess. Yeah, she always tries to... Yeah, okay, Jim. Let's see. Try Mexican Tony eating frosted flakes with his pony. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's... You know, they put the face in there, and it's not really... It wasn't going to be satire. It was going to be, this is like a thumbnail to get people to click on something to watch it. You know, because it's absolutely ludicrous, you know. And he's not being injured or anything in there, so I don't think it feels like it's disrespectful to Travis. You know, that just lets everybody know that there was a victim, you know. And then my video would be the real shit that I put out a long time ago, where I figured out all the different camera angles, etc. But yeah, I mean, whatever your opinion is what it is. Okay, who cares? And then this one comes around, and now we're at 11:49:32. This is 11. That's number 12. 11. 49. 42. 2. Yeah, it's going to be hard to... So he's right there, way off to the edge. 11:49. Does it start right there? Right? So 11:49:32. 10 seconds before what I just put. 32. I wish I had the original, not TMZ's version. Alright, so on here it's 6:59. Wait, what's going on? What the heck? Why is the frame like that? Oh, this is only 10 frames a second. This video right here. What's it doing over here? Oh boy. Sequence setting. Oh yeah, man, it's only at 10 frames a second. What the hell is it? What the heck is that? That's crazy. How do you fix that? Wow. I don't understand. That's wild. So is this whole thing just the entire sequence is 10 frames a second, but some of that video isn't 10 frames a second. Like this probably isn't, but it's going to be playing like that. Huh. Let me see what happens if I go new sequence and go to 29.97. Go back to where the hell is it? It just disappeared on me. It's wild how it does that. It's just gone all of a sudden. For no reason at all. Just disappeared. Nobody touched anything. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I hate how they just zoom in and stuff like that. Do I make a cartoon version of myself too, looking shocked? It's just so weird. It just disappeared again. Oh, it's 11. Okay. Okay, move this. Yeah, but see, that's not. Man, why is it 10 frames a second? That sucks. Okay, so I just put it into this one. Yeah, now it's not. Let's see if it's smoother at all now. That does look better. Let me go back to this one. Because 10 frames is bad. Let's see. Oh yeah, that one's that's clear. The other one's better, I think. Let me look at that again. Yeah, that's much better. Isn't it? You guys see that? I'm gonna go back. Okay, right there is 11:49:31, and it's 6:59:07. No, that's just 6:59. 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Like, yeah. Okay, jeez. Thanks, Karen. 11:49:32. Okay. So, I guess we have to write down 11:39, because this doesn't, they got rid of the time code. 11:49 because they zoomed in. It's part of the video. All right, but this down here says 6:59:06. Okay. So if we move it all the way to the end of this, where he cuts across. So they cut it off right there. Obviously, it keeps going. I don't know why they... See, that's what I hate about TMZ. Just give us the whole damn thing, man. Now this is 7:28:28. So literally 7:29. All right, so that means it's a 30 seconds. So it could have clipped off, because 30 seconds is sometimes the full length. So it's 30 seconds long. So that means it ended at 11:50 and 2 seconds. $11:50 02. $11:49 32 to 11:50 and 02. TMZ house. All right, and the next one is right here, and this one starts. I don't know. You know, it's weird because it's like you look at that. And then, you know, we see it in the air. So if we go here, this is the... That's not the right spot. It's right over here. So it's these two homes right here that have the camera on it. These two right here. So, you know, on that first one, if we go back, he makes it to almost like just like about 2/3 of the way between the first and second pillar, which is, you can see him right there. He's right there. So he makes it to here. Tyler, you know, Tyler makes it to here, or yeah, here on TMZ. Then we see him picked up again. Right? Shit. Right. Hold on. Right at that bush right there. Just before hitting that bush. And see that little line right there? See that? That's right here. It's the line that, so there's a line. Okay, watch this. See that square right there, and then that line? And then there's the next line after this one with that big square there. See, there's the square, and then the line over is this one, so he's just left of that one. So that means he's standing right here. And this is second final run position, start, whatever. Okay, so anyways, that's right there. And so I guess a way that we could kind of figure this out is, I doubt that he slowed down or anything like that, is let's see how long it took him to walk from here to there, and then we could probably double that, because it looks like it's almost exactly twice the distance, and we'd be really close, to the time that video started, because that camera does not have the time on it, right? So let's see how long it takes to walk to right here. Right before he turns, like he's walking normal pace there. And then I would say that, just eyeballing it, that double that would be, wouldn't you say that's probably about right, like right there? About like that. Maybe a little bit more, slightly. Well, I can measure it. Right, hold on. We can go like this, get it precise. Feet. That is 58.7 feet. Now let's go 58.7 from right there. That's 57.8. 58.7, right? Jeez. Yeah, let me get rid of 3D for a minute. Wow, is that tree even there anymore? Okay, let's do this again. So this one, from there to there, is 58 feet. So, let's see how far it is from this one to here is 57.4, so just inches. It's right there. I mean, that was a pretty good eyeball, you gotta admit. Alright, and then, so that's where he made it on. Wow, look how amazing that is, you guys. I mean, I actually think that that's going to be 58 feet. It's just pure miraculous. Here, watch this. Right there to right there is 57.5 feet. I mean, what are the odds of that? That is crazy. And there's 58 feet right there. I mean, literally almost exactly. I'm just going to put him, I feel like that's close enough. Right there. So isn't that wild? So now we can probably figure out exactly how long it took to walk from here to there, from here to there, right? So let's do it. Here he is walking. We are at 7:30 and 26 seconds. I think this is pretty cool, actually. 7:30, 26. All right, here we go. That is 2:30:26 on the clock, or 7:30:26. And he's just walking. He's not, I bet he's walking exactly the same pace. And then we'll get him, well, let's see, where did I have him? Yeah, right at the edge of the, so right, let's see, hold on. Do I have the plant thing in there? Yeah, so it goes past the plant, so right at that corner there. Right there. So that is 7:48:17. Alright, so 7:48. So that actually took 18 seconds to walk from over here to over there. So that means it's 36 seconds from here to there. So that would mean that let's see. We have it at 11:50:02. So it'd be 11:50 and 38 seconds. 11:50 and 38 seconds. There we go. 13, 11, 50, and 11:50, 38. And then that would be, and that was how much? 16 or 18 seconds. So it'd be 11:50 to 11:50 and 56 seconds. Pretty cool. Boom. It's going to be really close to that. All right. So now we got that one in there. 11:50 and 38 seconds to 11:50 and 56 seconds. Well, let's see how long it took him to walk when he didn't have the in his pants. And this is the second one. This is the same one. So we could go back to almost the exact spot. Let's see, where did we have him? So just a little bit before that line there. He should be walking quicker, you would think. So like right there, same spot. Let me check with the mailbox. Oh, it's a different cut of the video. There, right there. Man, it's weird. It's just cutting off that. I'm gonna look one more time. I mean, it's like you just can't see the mailbox. It's crazy. Yeah, see, like there's even that flower right there. I guess his foot's just before that. Boom. I guess he does go off the screen there. Alright, let's just do it like that. So it's kind of like right off the angle. It's about right there. But I think I started it here, right? Yeah, like right just before that line. All right, so this is 520 and 13, just 520 and a half. So he's not having to limp now. 520 and a half to right there. And so that was only 12 seconds. So way different than 16, or was it, yeah, was it 16? 18 seconds. So that was 6 seconds quicker just walking that distance without the gun in his pants. I wonder if, but after he does the 10:07, it seems like at that point it'd be cool to do, like, put my video in there. My, 360 degree. Of me walking the whole route. You know, but I could play it quick, make it like 5 minutes, you know, like double the speed, you know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's worth playing the whole 10 minutes just so people can get it. The full walking route. There you go. And I think this is the one. Yeah. So I stay on the sidewalk this time, mimicking exactly what he did. Alright, so that would be like 10B. New text file. 10B. The full walking route. INV INSV file. Alright, there you go. So I guess that's where we're at now. Alright, I don't want to bore the hell out of you guys even more than you have been. So if you got that, and then it's going to start getting into, you know, then I'll play the video. I mean, part of the same walking route, I guess. Doesn't this go all the way to the place? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this goes through the tunnel. This does everything. So I'm going to add parts of this to the whole thing. I mean, it's going to be awesome. And then when he gets over here, you'll see him walking in front of the Losi Center building from the camera that's up there, right on there. It'll show him walking, goes to the sidewalk, and then goes in, etc., etc., etc. Uh-oh, what happened? Come on, Jim Lon. Where does that come from? You know, like, you just throw that in there at the end of the show. Oh, boy. All right. Anyways, thanks, everybody. Let me get out of here. I'm sorry that we don't have more people watching. I don't know how to make that happen. I think my content is better than 99% of them, but somehow I don't have the juice, the excitement factor. I don't know. Yep. Hey, good night, Karen. Thanks for all your support there. And thank you to, let's see. I don't know, man. The whole viewer activity is blank. That's not good. Well, thanks for the coffee to Phyllis, and also, what do you mean not showing red? What do you mean? I don't know what that means, Allie Cake. Oh, you sent me a picture? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for her, it doesn't show that I was live. There's no red dot next to my name. See that? Look at, she just showed this. See that right there? She says, there's my GHI, and there's no red dot. Just another crappy YouTuber. Yeah, I don't know, man. The activity's gone, so I'm not able to... I've thanked everybody at... Well, actually, they just popped in. Here we go. That was weird. They didn't populate. So we had Wild Bill Wassman, then Dirt Bike, Trey Josas, Wild Bill Wassman, Allie Cake, Linda Howell, Karen W., Wild Bill Wassman, Allie Cake, Karen W., Wild Bill Wassman, Karen W., Allie Cake. Notice the theme there, you guys? Be great if we had other people helping. Then Karen W., then Wild Bill Wassman, then Phyllis Watson, after we struggled for a long time, did a cat eye donation that got us to half, or not even half, but close to, getting somewhere. And then we had Wild Bill Wassman, then Jim Lawn, then Phyllis Watson again, then Wild Bill Wassman, then Carl W. gifted 5. Then Carl W. did a double cat eye donation. And that sort of started getting us where we had a chance to, Then we had Phyllis Watson gifted 1. Then Carl W. gifted 5 again. Then Jim Lawn gifted 5. And then we had Michelle H. And then I think Karen. Now we did have, 10 jewels or something like that. Some people did a couple jewels out there. It doesn't say all of them. And I know Karen just did one a minute ago. And that doesn't show up on there for some reason. But anyways, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. And if that missed anybody, sorry about that. It kind of maybe cut off. But thank you. Oh, yeah. What? I didn't know you just had a surgery. Are you okay? Everything good, Karen? Oh, look at that. That's the one they made for me after I reran it. Tyler Robinson dry run before the killing of Charlie Kirk. Was this just a practice run? Look at that. I think that's what these people do, man. Look at that. That's a thumbnail you'd click the hell out of. Come on, everybody. Who wouldn't click on that? Boom. Wow, huh? I might have to reload the dry run. Maybe do a new dry run theory. What do you think of that thumbnail? Huh? That one's pretty good. I'd say I had it take this, remove the green box. It did it. And then it just, boom. I mean, look at that right there. I think that's what people are using. Haven't you seen ones that look just like this? Honestly, haven't you seen them? They look just like this with the same kind of text at an angle. Let me see. What font are you using? And it's funny how when I said pimped out, it made it look better.
That thumbnail is using a grunge horror-style display font, not a single standard font, but it closely matches a few popular ones you can grab. Closest matches: YouTube thumbnail style, YouTube favorite styles, Bebosnoy, modified, for the clean tall parts, Badaboom Double B, Comic Cartoon Punch, Horror Brush Blood Brush style fonts, closest match, Another Danger, Very close to the dry run look. Feast of Flesh B&B. Gritty horror vibe. The exact look in your thumbnail. Dry run Charlie Kirk. Rough paintbrush horror font. Looks most like Another Danger or Brutal Brush. Before the yellow, slightly cleaner brush font. Similar to Bebas Nui plus Rough and Distort effect. You're looking for that exact grunge horror brush font vibe like in your thumbnail. Here's the real deal. The exact font, or closest match, Another Danger. Download here. Download here. Download Another Danger font. Style, horror grunge. Brush, why it matches. Messy ink strokes, jagged edges. Looks like painted or scratched text. It's literally described as a hardcore, chaotic brush horror font resource boy. This is basically what your thumbnail text is emulating. Important. Don't skip this. The free version is personal use, only free download and preview or defund. For YouTube, monetized content. Technically, you should buy the license. Other killer alternatives. Same vibe. If you want options, some even better for thumbnails.
Yeah,
Chaos.
you gotta admit,
Road
like-
Rage. Medjo. Friday 13. These are all in the same rough brush.
You gotta admit, like, that's pretty amazing. Like, ChatGPT and, you know, like, just right there, I was getting me right to a font and everything. I wish I could have that exact font there. That's pretty cool. Was this just a practice run? All right. Anyways, thanks everybody. Really appreciate you guys' support. We were able to donate. Hey, before we leave, we got to update our numbers, right? I mean, where is it? I think it's somewhere in here. I've had your picture on a screen for 2 hours, Phyllis. You're famous to the 60 people that were watching. Oh, I think I do have it on this one. Not that one. Monitor. There it is. Donation total. There it is. Right there, and then we update it. All right, we got to change the number to 293,112. And I think that changed it for all of them. Yep, there we go. Very cool. All right. And then we also have to change on the other one for the year so far. $13,000. Not bad. Not bad. All right, freaks. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. And thanks, Phyllis, for your support there. Carl, everybody else. Wild Bill Lossman, of course. Allie K. Karen W. Man, you gotta love that. Doesn't that sound cool as hell, that music? Come on. Hey, wait, by the way, did your guys just said I was live though, right? Thank you for watching Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and common sense. Something that isn't common anymore. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. What's going on, Jim? Another one. Another crazy comment at the end. All right, anyways, thanks, everybody. See you guys later.